Thank you so much for joining in. I am Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. Good evening to everybody from Tijuana, Mexico. It is nice to say hello to every single one of you. I am doing a special announcement as it is 3:07 right now in the evening of the day of Friday, September 8th. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, uh, they did a nomination for our international work that we have been doing for years now, covering the migration issue. It's been some years now. And, we have been traveling through all borders through Mexico, most of the borders through Mexico in the United States. And also, we have walked with more than 9 caravans in the south of the border with Mexico in Guatemala. Also, we have done coverage in Guatemala with borders with Honduras. We did a phenomenal coverage in El Salvador with my brother Ben Berquam. We walked the Darien through the parts of Colombia and Capurganá. We crossed the Darien first time with my brother Ben Berquam through Panama. We crossed the Darien second time, and we were in a crossfire with the Center Front officials in Panama. We went through the borders of Colombia with Venezuela. And most recently, we went to Ukraine, did a coverage over there of the bellicose conflict. Went through France, covered the migration issue in France. And also, we went through these countries like Poland and Belgium and Amsterdam. This is something that they just told me. I just received a notification and also an email that I am going to be galardonado. That it means that I am going to be receiving a special award in Colombia, an award, ceremony by the host that is called Emergent Awards. They're giving out a special award for our coverage, the 2 coverages that we have done in the Darien Gap in South America. I am extremely appreciated of, like they say, nadie es profeta en su propia tierra. And it's so important for me that people from outside of the country of Mexico, they appreciate what I have done. And it shows you the category of, people that they know about our work. These awards shows there's going to be a lot of important people there. And it's a really proud moment for not only for me, but it has a whole team behind this exacerbated, exhausting, excruciating, stressful, career. It is, it's really exhausting emotionally, physically, but it takes really a lot of courage and effort to overcome every obstacle. First of all, say thank you to the Emergent Awards for the. I'm nominated in several categories. I didn't know this, so I'm nominated in another category also. But they're giving me a special award already for my coverage in the Darien Gap. So that's outstanding. That's so incredible for me. But I want to say thank you to first a couple of people that they deserve everything and credit. First, my manager, putting up with me all these times. And this is for you. Really, this is our work. You have built Oscar Blue. So I want to say thank you uh, to my angels that they have been supporting me undeniably, and without no hesitation whatsoever, always believing in me. And it's just I don't know what I will do without your your incredible support. Uh, Also, to to our network, Real America's Voice News. Um, Thank you, Mr. Rob Stig, Mr. Rob Shorts, for the opportunity to be working with the American network, and the opportunity to for you to for me to for work to for me to give the news with representing Real America's Voice News in Spanish. That I believe that is another category also. Ultimately, when we cross the Darien, my brother Ben Berquam does the English version for the American people, and I do the Spanish version for the Latino community. And you know, Real America's Voice News, we are putting that on Spanish, and we're putting the name of Real America's Voice News in the continent in Spanish. So I want to say thank you to the network, really so much, for the opportunity to travel, uh, and to and we risk our lives to bring the reality and truth of the news of everything that is going on in terms of the immigration issue. There's so many people, man. You know, uh, my brother Ben Berquam, of course, absolutely. Uh, walk. I cannot imagine myself walking with another man in this planet that is not him. I love that man really, and whether we get annoyed all the time because we have different points of view and different points of life, but at the end of the day, we fight the same fight, and I love that man. Really, I do. And he's my Christian brother. He's my brother, and I undeniably I support him in every single thing, whether he's right, whether he's always right, or whether he wants to be right. So I love him to that. My brother Anthony, also we started on this, so a lot of appreciation to him as he does coverage on the other side, on the American side. But we started, well, he started on his thing. I started in Spanish on my thing over here in Tijuana, and then we went together. But in terms to the Darien, there's a lot of people of this documentary. Aaron Campos, it is the producer, the one that did all the producing on the Darien coverage, on the Darien producing and directing all the videos. He sucked it all in into one 30-minute documentary that it was. If you compile all the videos that I have of the Darien people, it's just so many hours. It's more than possibly 2 to 3 days of recording and recording. So he compiled it, and he sucked it up in 30 minutes. And I was really amazed of how he did it. So that was one of the things that I was really, surprised of how the incredible work that he does. Aaron Campos, that he's a Mexican director and producer, and he just recently won an award in Europe for best producing of a small 15-minute documentary of immigration in Tijuana. He's really talented, really young, talented. I gave him the opportunity. A lot of people wanted me to go to directors of high quality and high performance with with really well-known uh, uh, networks, and I decided to go with a young, talented, inspirational, and motivational kid that did not have any substance, any equipment. And we had to rent equipment, and we had to do all these kinds of things to make the documentary. And look where it's at. It is the biggest, most watched documentary of the Darien in Darien documentary history. There has never been another documentary that has been watched so many times like the one that he made of our journey. So I'm extremely proud of him. Uh, Chuck Colton, he opened the doors for in Panama for us. My mentor, Michael Young, he opened the doors for us in Panama. We got to say it. Uh, Matthew Tomlett, absolutely, and he's incredible man. He's the nicest man that I ever met in my life. Panagringo. Uh, Without him, we could not do anything in Panama. To be obvious and to be really, to be honest with all of you. In particular, Senafront, uh, the Servicio Nacional de Fronteras, the Service National of Borders in Panama. Uh, I remember when you guys authorized us to go in, and you guys wanted to walk with us, but you said, "I want you to show the truth," because there's a lot of networks, they come and they don't say the truth, and I want you to say the truth. And I said, I will say that. Is the only thing that you're asking me to do, and I will have always done that. So I think I'm good in that. So give me the trust. I will do it. And the angels of the jungle, as I call them, Los Ángeles de la Selva, these border agents, they're the best agents in the world. It is, to be honest, they're the best agents in the world. Prepared physically, mentally, emotionally, everything that requires to save lives and to give an example, they are extremely well prepared. Every agency from the continent should learn from them, should learn from humbleness, direction, law, and order. They're being overwhelmed right now, and it's a small country with a big heart that they're trying to do the best that they can to control this uncontrollable migration. But an appreciation to them for letting us walk with them in the jungle. It's an honor. Every time that we walk with them, it's an honor. It's an honor to share the same food, the same paths, same pathways, the same bottle of water, to put our hammocks late at night in the jungle. It's just so many memories, so many good memories, beautiful memories of all the things that we have accomplished in the jungle. And our second trip, we got into a crossfire, you know, and the idea of going in the Embers route was Ben Berquam's idea. He's the only journalist, and we have to give them a lot of credit, who has have the, and let me say it like it is bluntly, who has had the balls to say, we need to go on the Embers route, Blue. And I said to him, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. That means that we're going to find all the flow. We're going against the current, Ben. Nobody has ever done that in the history. And he said, well, we're doing it. And I have never seen a courageous man like him taking these kind of decisions. And I follow him. And I said, all right, you want to do it on the Embers route, brother? Let's do it on the Embers route. We're going to find a lot of obstacles, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. And on the Embers route, we found ourselves with migrants that they were being raped, migrants that they were being raped, abused by these bandals that they were operating inside of the Darien. And the Centerfront officials took the decision to neutralize one of them and arrest two, to stop the abuse of migrants, as the women were getting brutally abused, and children. And I remember when the crossfire ended, I looked at him and I hugged him, and I said, it's incredible. This is incredible. And he said, yes, it is. And we're part of it. And why it's incredible? Because we're documenting God's work. You know, God put us there to say the truth, to spread the truth, and to ultimately give the truth to the people of this jungle that is not a pathway for people to migrate. It is not. It is the most, as Ben and I have categorized this, it is the most brutal, harsh, thing that we have ever gone through. It is brutal, and we are strong. I consider myself a strong man, and Ben, I consider him. He really surprised me. He's a strong American, and we were. It was brutal, and I cannot even bear to witness how migrants will go through that journey with children and women that they're pregnant. It's just I cannot even I've seen it, but I cannot put myself in their shoes to feel that punishment of trying to cross a place where it's extremely dangerous between life and death. I'm sorry. Here we go. We had a really bad signal. Really bad signal. Here we go. So real quick, hopefully, my manager can cut it off and then edit the video and then put it back on. But just to make it real quick, just wanted to do a little video to appreciate all the people, and I just wanted to send a message to a lot of people that they're out there. When I started covering the migration issue, my perspective was really different. I had a different perspective. When you walk with these people and when you go through the circumstances that they go through, a lot of the perspectives and your heart start changing. But you have to remain ethical and remain in the middle to say, I'm here to give the news. But the perspective changes because you know that migration, it is being weaponized, and people are being used for a political purpose. And it is not the people's fault. It is the governments and the oligarchs and these elitists that they're manipulating the migration for a purpose and for an issue, for a political issue. And my perspective has changed a lot in the years. As when you see the suffering, when you see consequences, when you see good people, bad people, when you see all this kind of stuff, perspectives change, and that is extremely important because that comes with the territory and comes with the experience. And it's really, I'm really fortunate to be having this career, to be documenting, to be traveling, to have the opportunity to be traveling and to have the opportunity to be working. It's an honor for me. Thank you so much, Emerging Awards from Colombia. Apparently, there's other awards that also other places that they want to give us credit also. We are being nominated in other categories also. but they already told us that we are going to be receiving an award, a special award for this documentary, The Darien Gap. It's funny, a lot of people when I came out with a documentary, they said that they were going to call it a flop. Well, I know what I do, and I know that when the work that we do, it is the best out there. I know because we have the courage to do it, and more than 1 million views and still counting in YouTube on that documentary, and now receiving a special award in another country. It is priceless. So I just want to say thank you to all my audience, especially to all my audience in the United States, the American audience. Thank you so much. You guys remember when I started? I started documenting, uh, with a phone, with a Motorola phone. Uh, Signal was really bad, was cutting off in and out, and I was a broadcaster. I used to call fights. I used to be a journalist, but for sports, for boxing. And little by little, started getting with immigration. The radio station sent me to do a live for a coverage over there for the radio station, and then after that, they sent me again, and after that, they sent me again, and one thing led to another. And look, so it's all of you guys. So I'm just you know, I'm just, thankful, for the opportunity, and also not only that for letting me give the news on your screen. That's one of the things that I really want to be appreciated to all the American people. Thank you undeniably for all your support. It is an honor to be talking to you guys every time on the screen. A lot of people say, why don't you do live feeds anymore? One of the things that I don't do live feeds anymore is because of security reasons. It is not the same to do it over here in Mexico than to do it in the United States or to do it somewhere else. So we're taking care of ourselves. And not only that, well, ultimately we are protecting the integrity of the network. So, uh, you know, uh, it's because of that. I wish that I can do it. I wish that I can have the freedom and the ability to do consistent live feeds outside, and with the freedom, but we don't have that. So one day it will come back again, and we can do it again. In the meantime, sorry for this interruption of signal. I just want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you so much for undeniable support. We are receiving a special award for the Darien Gap work. So thank you, and thank you again. Oscar Blue Ramirez, bilingual reporter from Tijuana, Mexico. First Mexican to ever cross the Darien Gap. Thank you so much. God bless you. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan is our mission. Thank you.